Welcome back. All right, just the 4 games tonight in the National Hockey League. So let's go ahead and jump right in. We're going to start things off talking about the Capitals and the Sabres. It's Lindgren versus Luukkonen in this one. There's early chances for both teams. We get a power play for Buffalo. That's killed off. The shots are 2-0 for the Sabres at 4 minutes, and at 4:42, Peterka puts one past a screen on a rush. Tuck and McLeod with the assists. We then get a power play for the Capitals, and they score on it. Wilson with a slot shot on a rush. Chychrun and Strome with the assists at 6 minutes and 10 seconds. So it's a 1-1 draw. Caps then look for the lead. Peterka has a screenshot that's kicked aside. Caps press with 6 minutes left. Peterka's denied on a net drive. He was everywhere tonight. Turnover issues for both teams late. Sabres press in the final minute. And then with 1.3 seconds left, we get 2 minutes of 4-on-4. So in the second period, with the score tied at 1, there's an early jump for Buffalo. And on a breakaway during the 4-on-4 at 1:07, Alex Tuck scores to give Buffalo back the lead at 2-1. Sabres press for another. There's more pressure by them 3 minutes in. A net feed to Peterka. Near miss there. Shots are 4-2 for the Capitals 6 minutes in. Tage Thompson gets shoved into Lindgren and the crossbar, and that looked painful for Lindgren, as well as for Thompson hitting the crossbar like that. Caps press at 9.5 minutes. Eventually they tie it. Wilson roofs one from the doorstep. Protas and Carlson with the assists at 11:29. We then get a power play for Buffalo, and they score on it. It's Tage Thompson with a one-timer from the left circle. Dahlin and Peterka with the assists at 12:49, so that makes it 3-2 for Buffalo. Caps press with 5.5 minutes left. Cousins has a net drive chance that's saved. It stays 3-2 Sabres after 2. Third period, early power play for the Capitals. That's killed off, but they have all the shots early on. 3.5 minutes in, the shots are 4-0 Washington. Sabres press at 4 minutes. Ovechkin's denied on a rush. We get a power play for Buffalo. That's killed off. The Caps press at 9 minutes. In fact, the shots are 6-3 for the Caps at the half. More pressure by Washington with 7.5 minutes left, and eventually they do get one. At 15:47, Protas tips one in close. Carlson and Dubois with the assist. That was point number 700 for John Carlson, and it forces the overtime. The Sabres controlled early in the overtime. Strome has a chance that's blocked out. Zucker nearly ends it. It was a very back-and-forth overtime. It was entertaining, but we go to the shootout, and in round 4, it is J.J. Peterka who gets the winner. Buffalo wins in the shootout 4-3. That's your final. 15-21-5 is the record now for Buffalo. With the shootout loss, the Capitals 26-10-4 on the year. Shots on net, 9-6 Buffalo in the first, 9 apiece in the second, 10-4 Washington in the third, 5-4 for Buffalo in the overtime. Final shots 28-27 in favor of the Washington Capitals. Power plays, Washington 1 for 2, Buffalo 1 for 3. The hits, 23-10 for Washington. Lindgren saves 24 out of 27. Luukkonen saves 25 out of 28. And there you go. The Sabres come home and they win one. Next up, the Canucks and the Montreal Canadiens. So, Lankinen versus Montembeault. Quinn Hughes was back in the lineup tonight. Early press by Montreal, and they'd score on it. At 1:07, it's Caulfield wiring one from the slot. Slavkovsky and Suzuki with the assists. The shots are 2-1 Montreal at 3.5 minutes. The Habs at this point blocking the path to their net. The fans call one. The referee does not. The Habs press at 8.5 minutes. But at 10:47, Miller with a one-timer from the slot gets a goal to tie the game. Höglander with the assist. The Habs then look to respond. The Canucks press with 5.5 minutes left. We get a power play for Montreal. Hudson's denied on a net drive. That power play's killed off. Things get pushy on a hold by Lankinen. The Habs press to close out the period. It's 1-1 after 1. Second period, Besser fires one wide on a rush. The Habs press are kept to the outside. Forbort, he got shaken up on a play. It looked like a Charlie horse. Looks like he went and walked that off. He would return to the game. Höglander has a net feed that's picked off, but then at 3:21, Miller buries a rebound in close. Lekaramaki and Myers with the assists. And then at 3:41, Lekaramaki scores on a 2-on-1 rush from Besser and Miller. So it's 3-1 Vancouver. And of course, whenever they get a 2-goal lead, Benny Hill starts. We get a power play for the Habs. That becomes a 4-on-4. Everything's killed off there. The shots are 7-0 for the Canucks at 8.5 minutes. Armia has a wraparound chance that's saved. And then at 10:35, Caden Gooley puts one past a screen to make it 3-2. Carrier and Armia with the assists. Habs press looking for the tie. Suzuki's denied on a one-timer from the slot. The Habs press with 3 minutes left. With 2 minutes left, the Canucks get a power play. That's killed off without a shot, as Montreal had the final 10 shots in that second period. Third period, early press by Montreal, so they pick up where they left off. We get a post for Myers on a rush. We then get a power play for the Habs, and they score on it. At 2:01, Doc buries one. Hudson and Suzuki with the assist, and then Montreal looks for the lead. Pressed by Montreal at 5.5 minutes, and then at 6:54, Lane Hudson scores to make it 4-3 for Montreal. But the Canucks would get a power play, and at 8:51 on a face-off win play, DeBrusk scores to tie the game. Miller and Hughes with the assist, so that's a 4-point night for JT. The Habs press with 5 minutes left. Gallagher fires one wide on a rush, but with 35.7 seconds left, the Habs get a power play. They call a timeout. It was Höglander that went to the box. I wouldn't be surprised to see Höglander earn a healthy scratch next game, to be honest. And in the overtime on their first shot during that power play, Montreal scores. It's Suzuki from Hudson and Caulfield at 48 seconds. Vancouver thought maybe there might be a goalie interference thing, but no. Final score is 5-4 in overtime for Montreal. They go to 19, 18, and 3. With the overtime loss, Vancouver 18, 12, and 9. And so that third column is keeping them above the playoff line. And on some level, I kind of wish it wasn't, because it gives management the excuse to say, well, we're still above the playoff line, so we don't need to panic. I feel like when a team's below the playoff line, there's more pressure to make a move, and I don't know. Anyway, shots on net, 6-4 Montreal in the first, 10-7 Montreal in the second. Both teams had 7 shots in the overtime. Montreal only needed 1 shot in the overtime. Or shots were 7 apiece in the third. Montreal only needed the 1 shot in the overtime. Final shots 24-20 for Montreal. Power plays Vancouver 1 for 3, Montreal 2 for 4. The hits 39-30 for Vancouver. Lankinen saves 19 out of 24. Montembeault 16 saves on 20 shots. All right, moving along. Florida and Colorado. So Bobrovsky versus Blackwood in this one. It kind of had a playoff feel to it, this one. Teams exchange early rushes. Panthers press are kept to the outside. Shots are 3-0 Colorado. 4 minutes in. Panthers press at 6 minutes. We get a power play for the Avs. That's killed off. McKinnon's denied on a rush. The shots are 10-1 Colorado with 8 minutes left. The Panthers press with 7 minutes left, and at 15:55, Florida scores first. It's Verhaeghe via a 2-on-1 rush. He wires it. Lundell and Jesper Boqvist with the assist. So yeah, 1-0 Florida. Panthers press with 2.5 minutes left. The Avs get pinned down a little bit. They block the net pretty well, though, as Florida only had 4 shots in the first period. And then with 3.3 seconds left, there's an offensive zone penalty by Florida, so the Avs have a power play that rolls over into the second period. Makar has a slapper that's held. Florida does finish that kill early in the second period. Florida presses at 3.5 minutes, but they don't get to the net. The shots are 4-0 for the Avs 5 minutes in. We then get a power play for Florida. That's killed off. There's a post for Makar. Bobrovsky ends up holding on there. It did not bounce in off of him, but it almost did. The Avs draw a power play. That's killed off as well. Shots are 5-2 Colorado. With 8.5 minutes left, the Panthers get a power play. That's killed off. And then at 18-18, bar down wrister by Taves ends up deflecting into the net, and Mittelstadt with the assist. So it is 1-1 at that stage. Then with 1:29 left, there's a delay of game call. The Panthers go to the power play. So that goes until the end of the second period, rolls into the third. The Avs finish the kill, and then they rush the other way. There's a press by Colorado at 2.5 minutes. The shots are 3-1, Colorado at 4 minutes. Fans call one, the referee does not. Samoskevich is denied and close. The Avs press at 6 minutes. We get a power play for Colorado. Makar is a one-timer that goes wide. That power play gets killed off. And then at 8:54, Taves scores to give Colorado the lead. That's from Colton and Parsonen. I believe that's Parsonen's first point as a member of the Avs. The Avs then look for another. The shots are 7-4 for the Avs with 8.5 minutes left. Colton's denied on a rush. Jesper Boqvist with the net feed. That's held. The goalie pull happens with 2:10 left. And the Avs end up hitting the empty net. It is Rantanen from Taves and McKinnon at 18:03. Goalie pull would happen again. Florida's not able to get on the board. Final score is 3-1 for Colorado. They go to 25-15-1 with the win. With the loss, Florida 24-15-2. Shots on net, 11-4 Colorado in the first, 9-7 Florida in the second, 16-14 Colorado in the third. Final shots 34-27 for Colorado. There were no power plays in this game. Hits 24-19 Florida. Bobrovsky saves 31 out of 33, and Blackwood 26 saves on 27 shots. Great goaltending, lots of action, lots of shots. No power plays. It really did have that playoff feel to it. All right, last game of the night is the New Jersey Devils and the Seattle Kraken. So, Markstrom versus Grubauer in this one. We get an early press by Seattle. Shots are 2-0 for the Devils, though, at 3.5 minutes. At 7:56, Mercer buries a backhand. or he goes backhand, forehanded into the net. So Mercer gets that one from Hischier and Meyer, and that's one of the reasons why when I talk about players that I do expect a little more offensively from, Mercer's one I mentioned, and not as an insult or anything, but because he has really good hands. I'm surprised he doesn't get more points and goals. Kraken press at 9 minutes. The shots are 8-4 for the Devils with 8.5 minutes left. Cotter's denied on a net drive. He's started heating up lately. Kraken press with 5.5 minutes left. McCann's denied and close. And then at 15:47, Larson fires one past a screen into the net. Stevenson with the assist. It's a 1-1 tie. Burakovsky's then denied on a 2-on-1 rush. And Markstrom with some absolutely heroic saves late in that period. Seattle didn't get a ton of shots in this game, but the ones they had were pretty darn good. And so Markstrom ends up having a good night. But 1-1 after the first. Second period, both teams blocked the net pretty well early. The Devils press at 4 minutes. We then get a press by Seattle 5 minutes in. Hischier has a wraparound chance that's held. Montour fires one wide as the Kraken press. There's a net feed to Kakko. That gets blocked. Shots are only 3 apiece with 7.5 minutes left, but they were all pretty good chances. So the Devils press with 6.5 minutes left. Palat has a tipped shot that's saved. There's some more pressure by the Devils there. The teams trade turnovers. Bratt's robbed on a net drive. And then at 19:35, Cotter actually misplays the puck, which I think is why Grubauer misses it, and it ends up going 5-hole. So Cotter gets the goal from Mercer and Kovacevic, and sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. You gotta be good to be lucky and lucky to be good, though. So there's that. Because if I say it's better to be lucky than good, people are going, hey, stupid hockey guy saying he's not good. It's better to be lucky than good. Anyway, you guys know what I mean. 7.6 seconds left. The Kraken go to the power play. Gloves are dropped as the call is made. Pesce wasn't happy because he got 5 minutes for fighting. I don't think he threw a punch. And there was a lot of discussion about this. But you know what's funny is my old brain remembers back in the 80s, there was a fight I think it was Stan Smeel of the Canucks got into, where he just gets pummeled. I don't think he threw a punch. I think it was just Stan Smeel getting beat up. Both players got 5 minutes. And I remember turning to my dad and going, why did Smeel even get, he just got beat up. He didn't even throw, why did he get 5? It's an old hockey tradition. So yeah, it is 2-1 for New Jersey after the second period. Third period. During that power play, at 1:24, Wright buries one in close. Kakko and McCann with the assists. So that makes it a 2-2 tie. But very quickly, New Jersey gets that back. At 2:01, Palat roofs one from the slot on a rush. Jack Hughes and Hamilton with the assists. It's 3-2 for New Jersey. Mercer's denied and close. The Kraken rush the other way. Tolvanen's robbed. Markstrom holds on. Again, when Seattle got shots, they were pretty fantastic shots from in close in this one. Bratt fires one wide on a rush. The Devils press with 9 minutes left. Kakko hits the post on a rush, so we were that close to a tie game. Beniers is robbed by Markstrom's stick as Seattle's getting all kinds of pressure. And what I mean is, Markstrom's falling back, brings his stick up, and it just basically hits that puck just before it would have hit the goal line and potentially gone in. It was a fantastic save by Markstrom. I can't say more. Goalie pull happens with 2:10 left. Nason ends up beating out an icing, which gives them more time, and they win this one 3-2. New Jersey 25-15-3 with the win. Seattle 17-21-3 with the loss. They've now lost back-to-back. Shots on net, 13-11 Seattle in the first, 11-4 New Jersey in the second. Both teams had 7 shots in the third. 29-24 are your final shots for New Jersey. New Jersey didn't have a power play. Seattle scored on the only power play they had. Hits 21-12 for Seattle. Now Markstrom 21 saves on 23 shots according to the app, which means either they took a shot away from Seattle or it should be 22 saves on 24 shots. Realized that while I was looking at the board. Grubauer 26 saves on 29 shots. Both goalies were really good in this one. I have no complaints about the goaltending at all. Entertaining games tonight, so let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. As always, don't forget to hit like and subscribe in the event you may not have done so already. Thank you guys so much for all your support as always. I will talk to you again soon.